What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Bold School of Commerce. My name is Mike, and we're live in session right now. So thanks for joining us. For everybody that is new to Bold School of Commerce, let me tell you a little bit about it. Every 2 weeks, we do our best to teach you guys our best practices having to do with e-commerce, having to do with Shopify, and having to do with helping you guys along the way, and ultimately helping you grow your brands and increase your sales. This episode, how to use Instagram to build your brand and make you money, is a great episode, a great lesson, and keep in mind that Boldness is run like an actual lesson plan. So if you have questions about what we're talking about, specifically what I'm talking about throughout the episode, feel free to post them in the comments. Let me just check here to make sure things are running smoothly, and it appears that they are. So we can really get right down to it. There's going to be 5 things that I'm going to talk to you about today that are going to help you ultimately grow your brand and make you more sales. Those 5 things are going to be accompanied with an Instagram account that I found that is a good way of sort of showing you guys what it is I'm talking about, and hopefully you'll be able to get something out of this. Keep in mind that this is live, so if you have a question at any point, let us know. Let me know specifically, and why don't we get right down to it? Rick just joined. Hey, Rick, how you doing? So the first tip I'm going to be talking about is why we're on Instagram, and sort of the number one first step that you should do. People come to Instagram to be inspired and discover things they care about, to take some time away from their regular days, and even to discover new products. It's a really great platform for you to be on if you're not already on. And it's also kind of a really cool sales tool that you can use to create more awareness for your products, create more awareness for your brand, ultimately grow that brand, and ultimately grow your sales. So let me just share my screen here with you guys. Here's a couple cool stats that I really wanted to talk about right off the bat. 60% of people say they discover new products on Instagram. So that's huge, especially in the e-commerce, the e-commerce realm. You're trying to get your products out to people. You're trying to get them to see them. But Instagram is moving away from sort of just showing your products and more about creating a community, creating a feeling. And that's a little bit about what we're going to be talking about today. Gone are the days where you can just post a product, leave it on your Instagram, and hope that it's going to make a sale. You could grow your following as much as you could possibly think, as much as you could try, but ultimately, at the end of the day, it's not just about showing your products. It's about showing people using your products. It's about showing people engaging with your brand. And one of the most important things that you can kind of do to separate yourselves from your competition here, it's to start with a business account. So if you haven't already, it's important that you align your Instagram account with a business account. This makes it a lot easier for you to check out the analytics, to see what's kind of going on behind the scenes. It's a great way for you to allow people to find you online. You can add your store location. You can add your website. There's a lot of really great things that come with having a business account. And it's important to have that information ready. If you just have an Instagram account that isn't connected to your business, you're missing out there, because there's not going to be a real simple way for people to see your account, sort of see what they like, and then maybe either click on your website or find out more information about your store or about your online business that way. So number one, right off the bat, make sure that you have a business profile. If you haven't set that up, I can definitely provide you some information, maybe a link to the page that I was just showing you earlier. It's very, very simple. So I'll definitely include that in the material after one. Number two, now that you have your Instagram set up as a business, what I wanted to talk about was setting up your bio. I think this is sort of lost along the way of when you set up your Instagram account. I'm comparing it to Twitter almost. You have a certain amount of information that you can give to the people who are searching out your brand. And it's got to be the who, what, where, when, why type of information. You know, the quick and dirty information that they can find out who you are, what it is that you do, and where they can find out more information. Those are really the top three things that you can do. And our friends at Peruvian Bracelets, sorry, do a really good job of this. And I just wanted to point this out. Just take a look at how they sort of structure their bio here. You know, it's filled with emojis. Those are really great for engagement. You know, people are constantly using emojis or at least incorporating those more into their brands. You can see, you know, where they were founded, where you can find out more information, and most importantly, they include a hashtag. And hashtags, I know we talk a lot about hashtags, but this is really like the core and the key, if you will, way for you to grow your brand online. Is through hashtags, and having a hashtag directly in your Instagram profile. You know, maybe it's your name, or maybe it's a contest you're having, or maybe it's something along those lines. But keeping that right in your profile is going to go a really long. We've talked about having your business Instagram business account, having a really good bio, and these are kind of just like the building blocks that are going to go a long way for creating your brand. You know, it's really important that you build your brand first and then try and sell. So that way, you know, you have a content base, you have a good look and feel, which we're going to talk about right away. Tip number 3. And that way, if people do seek out your products, and as soon as you start to have a better content flow and you start to create some contests, which we'll also be talking about today, it's just going to help your brand. And it's going to really do a really good way of growing your brand. So that being said, let's take a look at some brands that I think are really locking it down when it comes to the look and feel. I'm going to start right away, right off the bat, with Oreo. Big fan of Oreo when it comes to social media content. They're always sort of doing cutting edge things and really getting their brand in your face without selling too much. So as you'll notice here, maybe not the strongest bio. You know, they just got their tagline, but that's great. But the point that I'm trying to make here is it really has to do with locking down the look and feel. You know, you see right off the bat the sort of the look and feel here. It's all the same color. It's all very consistent, regardless of what the posts are. You know, it's having to do with their brand consistency. So it looks really great. In fact, 60% of the top brands on Instagram use the same filter for all of their posts on their Instagram. So maybe at the beginning, when you're first starting out, sort of experiment with some filters, see what you're really comfortable with, and what represents your brand, and then from there, just sort of keep that consistent. Consistency really goes a long way. It's showing your brand. It's showing that you know, you're very consistent, and that goes a long way, especially for your customers who are getting really into your products and into your social media. Tip number 4 that we're going to talk briefly about now is humanizing your brand. So we've talked about creating a business account. You know, you've got your bio nailed. You've got your look and feel down. So now we're going to start talking about that transparency aspect and kind of breaking down some borders here. So humanizing your brand really allows for your customers to see the inner workings of your brand, who you are, and then they can kind of get behind that. It goes a really long way. You know, social media, it's completely broken down all the barriers. You can't hide anything about your brand. So you might as well welcome your customers to find out a little bit more about your company. And you know what, that goes a little bit, it goes a long way too, just for building brand awareness, brand recognition. I have a couple examples that I wanted to show you. Sorry, here we go. So take a look at our friends over here at Shopify. Now, what I really love about Shopify here is number one, they really do mix it up with content. You can see there is a really a solid look and feel here. You can you get a good picture of painted content, if you will. But what I want to talk about here is humanizing your brand. And what they do here is it's kind of like a staff spotlight, if you will. And you can do this very easily for your brand. So here what they do, they feature somebody from the Shopify team. They discuss a little bit about where where they came from. They really open the doors to the kind of the behind the scenes of Shopify by letting you know kind of like who's working there. You know, they're putting a face to a name, which is really cool. And that really goes a long way. So you know what, getting away from posting about your products, post about yourself. Let people know what it is you're doing and who it is you are. You know, what that's ultimately going to do at the end of the day is it's going to allow your customers to get to know you and understand what it is you're doing. You know, we've all got the customers that are going to be interested in our products. The more your customers can get to know you, and the more the customers can get to know your brand, the more comfortable they're going to be ultimately choosing to buy from you. You know, it's as much about convincing them that your product is the best, just to convincing them that you're good people, and you know your store's great, and you're ultimately your products are really great too. So humanizing your brand is really important. A couple of the ways that you can do that, we talked a little bit about maybe doing a staff spotlight. One thing that I did want to show you, I thought this was really fun, and just a really fun and a really cool idea. This is going back to Peruvian Bracelets, another good friend of ours. So check this out. So instead of posting about your company or about yourself, excuse me, Pure Vita shows their office dog. Now, I don't know if you guys have an office dog. We don't happen to have an office dog here, but I've seen this before, and these posts get a ton of engagement. Obviously, if you love your pet enough to bring them to work, you know, other people are going to like that too. So feel free to post about, you know, your hobbies, your habits, what's going on, anything really behind the scenes, and just kind of see how that goes, you know. And then it also opens up an opportunity for you to have a certain dialogue with your customers, and find out a little bit more about them that you can ultimately, you know, use later. The more you can find out about your customers, their habits, what they like, you know, their demographics, who they are, what they're interested in, the better you're going to be able to create either content that has to do with all those traits, or you know what, you can use that to promote posts, and run some advertising. So to really understand your audience, the more you'll get out of, you know, some promoted content and some boosted posts and whatnot. So this is bringing us to tip number 5. And tip number 5 is more of a practical aspect of this School of Commerce lesson. So before we get into tip number 5, let me just see what's going on here, see if there's any questions. No questions yet, but if you do happen to have any questions, feel free to post them in the comment section. So what we're going to talk about a little bit now, and we did a large lesson on it at our last School of Commerce. Keep in mind that if you are watching this and you want to catch up on any of the School of Commerce lessons, you can definitely do that. Last School of Commerce was sort of how to use user-generated content to grow your sales, along those same lines. And what user-generated content is any piece of content essentially that you're not creating yourself or you're not paying for to have done. It's essentially your customers using your products or showcasing your products in some way, shape, or form. Whether that's them, you know, out and about, if you sell coffee, or if you sell clothing, you know, you show them drinking they're drinking the coffee, they're wearing your clothing, they're having a really good time. They're essentially your brand's advertising team that you're not even paying them to do. They like your product that much that they're showing it to their friends. So the more that you can tap in to the user-generated content type of content, it's going to go a long way. Number one, it saves you time. You know, you don't have to spend all of your time. You know, a lot of us are limited on time creating that content. Number two, I know that if I reach out to any brand online, even if it's just a tweet, and I get a like or a favorite or a retweet, something goes off because it feels really cool when a brand is recognizing that. So if somebody used my photo in their Instagram account of me using their product, I'd feel pretty cool about that. I'd probably share that. It's a really, really great way for you to build brand advocates, and for you to grow your audience. So I'll show you a couple of Instagram accounts that I think are doing a really great job. Check this out right here. Okay, so here's Whole Foods. Whole Foods does a really great job of showing off I should say customers. These are customers using their products. I'll actually take you for a little bit of a spin here. Let's check out their first 3 posts here. I think that Whole Foods does a really good job. They do a couple really cool tactics. So let's check out this one, number 1 here. Here, what they're doing is and another tip that you can do: take advantage of those national days, those national months, things that are going on. So you'll see here it's National Watermelon Day. So there's plenty of online resources. Even if you just type out national days, you'll get a link and it'll take you to every day has something going on. So following with that, National Watermelon Day, posting about a product that having to do with watermelon, or just that look and feel, incorporating that. I'm sure people who checked out National Watermelon Day, who love watermelon, they might have stumbled on this. So it's just a way for you to get your brand out there. So number 1, what they're doing, they're incorporating hashtags. Love that. We talked about that a little bit already. So let's check out their second post here. Boom, right off the bat, you see somebody's drinking a product of theirs. This is very similar to how Starbucks does it. I'm sure if you've seen some School of Commerce lessons before, you'll notice that we talk about Starbucks a little bit. I might even pull them up just because I think they do a great job. But check this out right here. So they're photo crediting the person whose content it was. And that's a really big thing. Before we move any further, I should mention that. And I'm not even sure if I mentioned that in the last School of Commerce that we did specifically about user-generated content. It's always important that you recognize where you're getting this content from. You don't want to be stealing content. And I think that there was a bit of a confusion, or it was a really gray area over the past little while, in the past few years. The best way to tip your hat or to recognize somebody else's content. And a really simple way to do that, I don't know if you noticed that on the screen here, but it's just by doing a photo cred, and all that is using the camera, and then you mention their Instagram account. Very easy, very simple to do, and you're tipping your hat, you're giving them a shout out, and it's just it's saving face, and really at the end of the day, we're all trying to grow together and to work with each other and to influence each other. So the more that you can engage with other accounts and sort of use your Instagram base and also your influencer marketing base, the better it's going to be for everyone. So keep going down on the Whole Foods train here. I just wanted to show you this one here. Another great use of hashtags, vegan, veggies, just getting your information out there. They're also doing something here, some might call it influencer marketing, where they pair up with another brand. This is another Instagram brand that they're pairing with. So you click that and it goes to their account. So mentioning other brands that you are connecting with is a really good way to ultimately grow your following and to hopefully increase your sales as well. So those are kind of the 5 items that I wanted to talk about today. Let me just check out to see if we have any comments or questions. Nothing right now. No, that's cool. So that being said, let's just recap a little bit about what we were just talking about. Number 1, start off with a business account. If you don't have your Instagram business profile set up, step number 1, make sure that you lock that down. We'll provide some content. As always with School of Commerce, if you're not able to attend the live webinar or the live stream, as we call it, a few days later, we posted on our blog with the video. So, you can go check it out and stuff that you took away from this. You can definitely look into that again. And we'll also include a link to show you how you can set up your business profile. Number 2, nailing down your bio. Take advantage of that. You've only got a limited number of characters to work with. So talk about who you are, where people can find a little bit more information, incorporate a hashtag, and ultimately a website and a contact information. That's going to be very helpful. Excuse me. Number 3, now that you have your account set up, now that you've got your bio looking good, work on your look and feel. Keep it consistent. Remember what we talked about. 60% of the top brands on Instagram only use the same filter. So keep that in mind. Find out what filter works for you and keep it consistent. Number 4, humanize your brand. show people who it is you are. Let them in, and let them into your life. Show them the behind the scenes. Show them who you are. Show them what you're passionate about. The more passion that you can show them, the more that the more opportunity there is for them to fall in love with your brand and to ultimately, become a brand advocate, and for you to turn these prospects and people that are interested in your products, ultimately into customers. And the number 5, the last one we talked about, user-generated content. Really take advantage of showing people using your products, showing people enjoying your products. A few of the ways that you can do that is through, incorporating hashtags and content ideas that way. What we talked a little bit about last time, but Starbucks does a really good one. It's the hashtag, the red cup. I'll even just show you that one real quick right now, just because I think it's a really good piece to show. So you'll see here, this is sorry, I said red cup. It shows off their new drinks in a really cool way, showing people using them, introducing your products. Very cool. It's just it's really cool, and it really goes a long way to show customers using your products. So ask them to do it. I mean, that's the point I was trying to make. Tell them to show off, take a picture of them enjoying your product, come up with a hashtag, and then search for those hashtags and repost that content. And that's going to go a long way too. And that's ultimately, hopefully, going to be able to grow your audience and make you some more sales. If there was anything that you want to know a little bit more about, keep in mind that we will be posting this on our social medias later, Facebook, Twitter. Keep in mind that there's a lot of other great content on there. If you have enjoyed, or if you've gotten a little bit out of the School of Commerce lesson today, check out our Instagram, check out our Facebook, check out our Twitter. There's a lot of great content there. We're doing our best to come up with really cool ideas and creative content. So, sometimes we just think of a cool idea and go with it. That's also another great thing about social media is you got to try things and experiment. You've got your analytics that you can take a look at afterwards to see what's working and what's not. But that's about the time that I have today. Keep in mind that the next lesson for School of Commerce will be 2 weeks from now, and we will be discussing Facebook, actually, using Facebook to drive sales to your Shopify store, August 17th. So we talked a lot about Instagram today. Keep in mind that, if Instagram isn't the platform for you, you know what, that's okay too. There's tons of other channels out there. Rather than stretching yourself too thin and being on all of the platforms, it's best to find out what works best for you, what you're most comfortable with. So if you think Facebook might be up your alley, make sure to tune in August 17th, and we'll talk a little bit more about Facebook and Bold School of Commerce then. So thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys took some takeaways from this. Once again, my name's Mike. This has been Bold School of Commerce, where we give you our best tricks and practices to help you along your e-commerce journey, ultimately to help you grow your brand and increase your sales. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. All right, take care, you guys.